The work really announces itself to me. I mean, in the case of my very first novel, I kept on writing the same short story over and over again, and I would try different points of view, and I would try different structures, but it was essentially the same story that I was trying to figure out how to tell. And finally, a professor of mine, I realize now in frustration, wrote in the margin, "I think it's on to the novel," which was one of the scariest things anyone had ever written to me. When you're in a graduate writing program, the feeling of putting all your eggs in one basket is terrifying. You can end up with this very expensive degree and nothing if the novel doesn't work. And I think it's one of the reasons why these programs end up churning out so many story collections and essay collections. And it's not necessarily that that's ultimately the form of the writer. Sometimes it is, but it's because you're diversifying in some way. And I didn't do that. This book announced itself as a novel to me. And once I started writing it, I realized that that was a form that I was much more engaged with. There was much more time and room in the storytelling and world building. I'm not a miniaturist. And so that was my first novel, but it's been true with each of my books and even with other shorter projects that it lets me know what it wants to be. I don't decide. And it's never an intellectual decision, it's never a commercial decision, it's never, oh, this would be a good idea. That never works for me. It really is the patience between books, the waiting, the understanding that it takes time for the next work to reveal itself, and then eventually it does. And when it does, it's unmistakable.